Tagwan, peeps, what Tagwan? It's Valerie's Naturals Oracles, and today, if you are here, this is all about the tarot card interpretations. And if you didn't know, we've moved on from the major arcanas, although I did slip up and forgot about the judgment card. It's done. We're moving on. So we've done the Page of Wands. We're now on to the Knight of Wands. And if you didn't know, I actually do worksheets that go with this actual series of cards. And there's a whole playlist. I've gone through the major arcanas. I've started on the wands. So we've got the Knight of Wands today. And this is one of my favourite cards. Sometimes in a not so good way, but I will explain. But before we get into those explanations, if you've not hit the alert bell, why not? Hit the subscribe and alert so you know when I'm going to do another video, because this is a very small part of what I actually do. So let's get on with this interpretation. And let me just explain. I do my interpretation of the cards. I will show you the same card in different decks and how that same card depicts differently in other decks. And then I will give you a standard general textbook explanation just to give you a warm-up and to let you know that my 4 worksheets, which will be on Patreon and it's extended, I have to say, will give you full explanation as well as reversals on spirituality, on work, on love, on finances, and there's one more, health I think it is, but they also give you the reversals of that. So come with me and join the clan if that's what you're into and you want to actually learn tarot and have it in a more detailed way. So anyway, what do I think of the Knight of Wands, you ask yourself? Well, if you are privy to any of my readings, you will know and understand this is my player from the Himalayas. But let me give you the good context first of all. Do you know what? The Knight of Wands to me is that they're a fast mover, they're a fast shaker. But sometimes they rush in too much. They're of haste. And sometimes they can be of good news, but it's, you know, sometimes it's a little bit hasty of what they're doing. So you have to be a little bit wary of them. But how I normally see the Knight of Wands, I call it, and I shouldn't say this, but I call them the community dick, the community panani. Somebody who puts it about a bit, somebody who is a player, somebody who has, and it's not always that, it's about more of the in and out energy. They come in too fast, they leave too quickly, you know, or the hot and cold energy. 1 minute they're really into you, and then the next minute you hear nothing from them. And it's almost like a ghosting tactic. And then when I see this card, it's especially in specific spreads, and it obviously it depends on what's in front of it or what's behind it. But as I said, this is my player from the Himalayas, and I don't know whether it's because of the action and the wand as well, because, you know, and I say it and I say it again, wands is also known a little bit as a phallic symbol, you know. Did I like to wave it about a bit? Who's to say? And this is where I get the community dick from. But anyway, I'm going to move on from that subject. That's my quick interpretation. But as I said, I can give you, you know, I do worksheets that give you much more detailed information. And it's not just about the, you know, the player. You know, it's about action, forward movement, fast movement, but sometimes in a hasty way, I believe. But let's look at some other decks and see how it's depicted elsewhere. And there's one in particular that really plays up to what I think of this card, but I'll show you in a moment. So the first deck I'm going to get out is the very first deck I ever bought, and I've had it for years and never used it up until about 2 years ago when I first picked up the cards. This is the first deck I picked up, but, you know, here is the player from the Himalayas in this deck. Now, do you see the fire and the passion and them holding on to that wand with dear life? You know, as they move forward in their actual situation. I mean, that's one depiction. I mean, this one didn't have the fire. But do you notice there's a desert, like a dry, barren type thing? That might be significant. I don't know. But what else have we got? We've got this deck, the Wheel of the Year Tarot. And this is how he's depicted here. Now, this looks like a happy chappy. I wonder why they're happy. If they've got the community on deck, I don't know. But in this one, it's depicted them in abundance, like they've got a story to tell, like they're really moving on a fast movement. But the one that gets me the most, and although this is the Rider-Waite Tarot, this is the Throth system, and this is my favorite, but this is the cards, and this is my favorite depiction of the Knight of Wands, the rock star. In this deck, it's called the rock star. And to me, this is the typical depiction because they love a groupie. They love to be the center of attention. They're very hot and cold when they feel like it. They're very in and out when they feel like. Then they can drop you like a stone. And they think they're their rock star. So this is what I say when I say this is a really good depiction of what I believe the Knight of Wands is. Although it maybe sounds slightly different in the textbooks or whatever. But you get the drift, don't you? So they're so different in depiction, aren't they? But yeah. This one's got the barren land behind it. This one's got flourishing fields. But like this one has got the whole band behind them. Is it because they like to be the centre of attention? Who's to say? But let's get the textbook version of what this is about. And it's going to be very short and very sweet. And here we go. It says, if representing a young man... Because normally, I don't know if I explain that, but like, for example, the Page of Wands is usually, it could be a child, a very young person also. But with this is more like teenagers into 20s, early 30s maybe. But it says here, if representing a young man, a fire element, when representing a young man, the Knight of Wands is energetic, adventurous, full of ambitious ideas, warm and exciting, but apt to be a little hasty. See, this is where... So it does give you the depiction of hastiness, doesn't it? Anyway, as an event. So if you're looking at this more as an event, because I use these kind of cards as events more than characters. Do you know what I mean? So the Knight of Wands almost always shows when someone is about to change residence. May also signify a long journey being taken, sometimes both as in immigration. As always, looking for supporting cards. Look for supporting cards. The energy this knight represents tends to make clients feel they must act quickly, as it has a high level of creative energy, but they must not in their haste forget to check all the details first. Yeah. So that is the quick, no holds barred explanation of the Knight of Wands. But like I said, if you want deeper or further explanations, I do worksheets and the link will be in the description box below. Come over to Patreon and check them out. So until next time, take care.